Welcome back to the channel. Let's explore together. Today we're checking out Harry Mack. It goes deep. As of me recording this video is 2 hours old. I'm assuming this is another written from Harry Mack based on the titling, and I'm curious. I heard his first written already. I think that might be on the channel somewhere. Who knows? But yeah, let's take a look at Harry Mack. It goes deep.
Yeah. 1 2 1 2. Y'all know what this is, man. Turn your fucking volume up. Yo, hey, come on, listen. I said, time to get creative. Y'all know coffee is the drug of choice. Knocking all them sloppy demons off me just to hush the noise. Bless my inner child, spoiled rotten with a bunch of toys. It's the opposite, the muscles popping from a ton of roids. Natural growth, the Mac took an oath to leave no gaps in the practice of the raps that he wrote. Every chapter masterfully crafted, dog, it has to be dope. His dreams, fasten the hope, schemes act as the rope. Sharp bars off the dome, throwing darts from the melon. If the art is compelling, then your heart will start swelling. Expanding with love, get high like cannabis buds. Candle lit up, I'm just hoping y'all can handle the buzz.
So now he said off of the melon stuff, so I don't know if this is a written or if this is just a fun, more like produced impromptu freestyle. Off-rip freestyle like he does. Harry Mack is the greatest off-the-dome freestyle rapper ever, so far as I'm concerned. And the fact that I'm not sure if this is written or not is kind of a testament to that, because most people who freestyle off the dome wouldn't be able to do even this. It would just be a bunch of writtens that they had that they were just kind of doing as a freestyle in one go. But with Mack, he might have just sat down with the concept and just rapped this. Or it could be written. Who knows?
Because admittedly, it's almost too much to take. Utilizing raw truth just to hush the fakes. We keep it authentic till the end of time. I send a blend of rhymes, beats, bending spines. It goes deep. Every time I grab the mic, you probably feel this shit off in the afterlife. Nice. It goes deep.
I like that.
When I start exploring the verse, I burn motherfuckers like the core of the earth.
I do appreciate Harry Mack as just such a traditional rapper. He on that, I don't know, probably 90s rap. I mean, there's rap before that. There's some 80s stuff, but he feels like he's in the late 90s bag in like the style of it. And it's nice to hear that produced in a more modern way and with more appealing lyricism and schemes, because a lot of people try to rewrite history on like OG rap. It's bad, like irredeemably so. There's a reason Tupac stood out so much and brought rap into the limelight, and it was because he wasn't terrible, and that was significant in and of itself to make stuff that like people who weren't from the culture would want to listen to. And that's why the culture is such a big part of hip hop. Is a lot of old heads have passed down the whole thing. It's about the culture, and it's like, yeah, I mean, the culture is the only reason hip hop survived past the Bronx parties that didn't even have rapping in them. It was just turntables and dancing. The rap came later, but that's the birth of hip hop, is the Bronx block parties. And yeah, hip hop just was not culturally viable for a while, and it's mostly just because like culturally outside of its own culture viable for a while. And it's mostly because it just had no appeal unless you were like personally involved in that community as it was coming. And Tupac was one of the first guys to really transcend that and make the message of that culture attainable and make sense to people outside of it, and also sound sonically good and have more appealing rhyme schemes. And then, you know, for people who want to throw hate on it, Eminem kind of was the next step in that evolution. You know, people point to the GOATs and they'll talk about Jay-Z or Andre or a lot of guys who were amazing. But when I think about hip hop, I think of who moved the genre forward the most. And for me, you go to Tupac and Eminem, and because you move forward the genre by getting more people interested in it and by changing it in a way that's still true to it. And those are guys who did that the most. Those are the top two in my head that shaped hip hop into what we see today and got more people interested, got more people involved, and helped it grow from Dr. Seuss nursery rhymes that were horribly cringy to a decent and oftentimes great art form. All that to say, Harry Mack sonically sounds like that Dr. Seuss era of rap in the boom bap style and all of that, but he brings a flow, a delivery, a rhyme scheme, and a presence that didn't exist in that era. And it's nice to hear it done fairly well in that style. That was a long rant, and if you survived it, you're weird.
It goes deep. Every time I grab the mic, you probably feel this shit off in the afterlife. It goes deep. When I start exploring the verse, I burn motherfuckers like the core of the earth. It goes I don't need motivation, all I need is a routine to focus on creating instead of shifting to new scenes. Swifter with the verses like Floor from Swiffer, they too clean. Addicted to the process of painting pictures of true fiend. Miles Davis on blue and green. Ill melodic phrasing, caught a sensation that's hot and blazing while jotting all these thought creations. If it's not authentic, then I'm not relating. Pause the philosophical postulating, you'll stop debating. I'm clearly the sickest, the lyrical misfits. They feel me when they hearing me spit. This is merely a tidbit that goes deeper than regions over which Poseidon presiding. In fact, deeper than black holes sucking the light in.
I like that he mentioned that he's rapping on the ocean by talking about Poseidon, god of the sea. That's cool. He's rapping near the ocean, I should say. That whole scheme and that flow was so nice. I already heard in the back of my mind people screaming in the comments about me insulting all the other OGs besides Tupac and Eminem, and you can shove it, just so you know. Because a lot of people are like, this was such an influence to this, or this was such an influence to this. Yeah, but I'm not talking about artists that influenced other artists. Obviously, they're important. But if we're just trying to single out who did the most for the genre, it's the people who actually got the general public to pick up the genre. At the end of the day, growth requires growth, you know? And you could point to the people that inspired Pac or the people that inspired Eminem and say that they're more important because they were their inspirations. And I would say, no, they're not. They're important pieces, but the most important person is whoever actually executed and put it on the stage and pushed the genre forward. Because without Tupac and Eminem, if hip-hop still existed today, and I do say if you remove Tupac and Eminem from the equation, if that genre didn't just become a footprint, or a memory, it wouldn't have advanced. It would barely exist as anything interesting today if it existed. It's kind of like, I think it might have gone the way of like dubstep that kind of exists in some niches of EDM now, but because no one like progressed dubstep or expanded upon it, EDM just kind of went back to what it was doing before dubstep. Right, dubstep's kind of like a blip on the radar. And yeah, there's little pockets of people doing it, but it's not like you hear dubstep influences in mainstream music anymore, or a bunch of artists jumped onto it because there weren't enough people who progressed it to something that could be long-standing appeal. And I think hip-hop would have met a similar fate, if not for Tupac and Eminem. I'm still ranting about this because I just see, it's not because of this video, it's just, as someone who is in the space of music and rap online, there's just so many dim-witted takes and uneducated takes on everything to do with music history. That just every now and then, if my brain's on it, I might as well use my platform to be like, can you all that don't know things and just want to talk, stop? Like, if you know things about something, share your opinion, fine. But most people sharing their opinions don't actually have a grasp on like the simplest parts of the history of the stuff they're talking about, and that's when it gets frustrating. Anyway.
Deeper than that addiction, to the rush of excitement the drugs are providing. Deeper than the crushing depression, deeper than rock bottom, deeper than the love that you finding from a friend that's hugging you tight without no judgment inside him. It goes deep. Every time
that was
I
uplifting.
You probably feel this shit off in the afterlife. It goes deep. When I start exploring the verse, I burn motherfuckers like the core of the earth.
I think I recently found out that Harry Mack is younger than me, which is crazy. I thought he was older than me. And I don't know if that means I look like a baby or I'm supposed to look like Harry Mack. I'm old. You know, I'm at least older than Harry Mack now. But yeah, I don't know if man looks old for his age or I look too young for my age. But either way, that blew my mind. I thought Harry was older than me for the longest time. Nope. No, he's not. Super talented though. Also, my brain just heard someone screeching in the comments something about race or racism because you look at me and you think I'm a white guy trying to talk about hip hop knowledge and also stating Eminem is one of the two greatest MCs. I am very pale, but I am Latino, and my grandparents were at the Bronx parties. That's why I always consider that a crucial part of hip hop history, because I've heard about it since I was like a kid. Saw all the pictures and stuff, and they were teaching salsa dancing because I'm Puerto Rican and Cuban. But yeah, so while I've never claimed to be like the biggest lover of hip hop, because I'm not, I like hip hop when it's the kind of hip hop I like, but it's not like my go-to. Despite that being the case, I have a very deep fondness for hip hop as a cultural movement and its history, because my family roots are literally in it. And so it's something that I've grown up with. So there's that disclaimer for why this seemingly super white dude is talking about hip hop culture as if it's something of my own. Well, it is. That's why. I'm not a guest in hip hop if I enter in. It's something my family literally helped build. So it is something that I have special vested interest in.
Every time I grab the mic, you probably feel this shit off in the afterlife. It goes deep. When I start exploring the verse, I burn motherfuckers like the core of the earth. It goes deep. Cracking the surface and rapping with purpose. Any distraction, I curve this. I'm attacking these verses with a vengeance, so unrelenting. With my craft as a wordsmith, it has to be perfect. When we in the lab and we working, it's similar to pastors in churches. The passion is palpable. More than the cash that you stashing, it's massively valuable. Molded from molten hot, malleable materials. The incalculable power, alchemy leads to miracles. This is not rap, it's an offering to God. Strip away the artificial, offer the facade. Condition critical MCs are.
Listen. You throwing shots at me, Harry? Just messing around. That's funny because he says stripping off the artificial, off with the facade. He demasks himself. One of my first major projects after, like, I did, because for a while in this version of YouTube that I'm living in now, I was anonymous for a while, just kind of as a experimental character I created. And I still have that character, but when I decided that I was sick of always having to keep myself anonymous and would do a face reveal, one of my biggest projects after that was called Artificial. And it was about like revealing a truer side of myself to the audience that I cultivated and like peeling that mask away. So that was funny. I know, not related to me at all, but just I was like, that was a fun little connection to that line.
God, strip away the artificial, off with the facade. Condition critical MCs are put up in the ER. Energy received through these bars. Effortless rhythm entities regard. Every rhyme is heavenly. I'm forever gon' climb to the.
This man behind him is eyeballing him in the camera right now. This guy in the red.
Very P. They saying Harry's weak. They tripping, make you aware of secrets that's buried deep. So listen, it goes deep. Every time I grab the mic, you
just want to hype with this.
In the afterlife. It goes deep.
I like this. It's nice. It's just good vibe.
Burn motherfuckers like the core of the earth. It goes deep. Every time I grab the mic, you probably feel this shit off in the afterlife. It goes deep.
It gives me those vibes of just that era of rap, like Infinite by Eminem. If you've never heard that song, still one of the best Eminem songs of all time. I'm infinite. You heard good tongue tied. I'm infinite. You heard of hell while I was sent from it. Oh, it's so good. It's just that bouncy feel to some of this old rap is just so nice.
I start exploring the verse. I burn motherfuckers like the core of the earth. It goes deep.
So I don't know if that was written or freestyle, because I know he could do a hook off rip and still do it. It was one take, obviously, so he freestyled it in that sense. And then you've got some production on that. It goes deep to double his voice. But how he wrote that, who knows? And that's the magic of Harry Mack. You don't even know if he wrote that or just performed it as a freestyle with some dubs later. No idea. But I know it was good. It was nice. And I've been talking way too long about the history of hip-hop for really no reason at all. And now YouTube's trying to recommend that I listen to Adam Calhoun as a insult, apparently. If I've been talking about appreciating hip-hop culture for this long, YouTube, then your robots that listen through microphones that people claim exist should know that the last thing I'd want to see is Adam Calhoun. Jesus Christ. My recommendations are broken thanks to you guys requesting I listen to the most heinous stuff, especially on live streams. Come see us Tuesdays and Fridays You want to send me terrible things like Adam Calhoun to make me suffer. See you later.